I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer. I did in fact spend less time in school than Greta Thunberg, but one thing I do know is that the correct mindset can actually fool your scorecard into looking a lot better. Every shot is an opportunity to change your perceptions from perceived negative consequences to actually something pretty good. On the first hole here, let's reframe the tee shot. It's not hit as far as you can, it's get the ball in play to get that second shot. I'm going to hit my driver because it's got a big ass face and I can rely on a driver to at least go and play and make contact. We have 134 yards remaining according to the REDTIGER rangefinder. But what happens when we shoot with a rangefinder is we often find we become obsessed with that exact number. The best number to have is actually the back of the green and the front of the green to know how much space we really have. So with the pin being in the middle of the green at 134, I can assume we have 10 yards short, 10 yards long. If I don't have a specific club for 134, I can hit it anywhere between 124 and 144. Absolutely brilliant. Reframe it to give yourself more margin for error. Absolutely money. We can often put ourselves in mental prisons. One of the mental prisons we can get into with chipping is this idea of perfection. Chips are very, very complicated things. You know, you have different lies, different elevations, different slopes to land on the green. Most important thing we can do is reframe these shots to just get it on the green using the most reliable chipping technique for us in that moment. For me, generally, the most reliable when I have a bit of issues chipping, which often is the first thing to disappear after a long layoff, is to just go toe down. I mean, that's terrible, but I'm on the green, I haven't duffed it short, leaving a second chip. I can always hold that putt. I can't hold a second chip, I guarantee. My reframe for putting is always putt to make, putt to make. Get that line and pace perfect to make it. That way, if you don't, it's going to be right near the cup. You have to practice your putting, of course. I don't believe in a 3-foot circle. I think we can reframe that to a 1-foot circle or even holding the putt. I'm perfectly happy with that inside a foot. I don't want to leave myself a 3-foot. I mean, if you look at a 3-foot circle, it's here and here, giving you 6-foot range, which is a bit too wide. One of the mental prisons is hitting the driver of every single tee just because it's a par 4 or par 5. Often you're finding you're putting yourself in bad positions and you can't have a second shot, or your second shot is from a very difficult position. So if I take the 4-iron out here, you know, that can be whatever it is for you, a safety club, you can get the ball in play. Remember, in play, as far up as possible, but remember this important reframe, for you, in the moment. So in the moment, the 4-iron is my most reliable club to get as far as possible in this moment for me. Following on from as far as possible for you in the moment, it's the same on approach. We do want to get the ball closer to the green that then lines up with the shot that we have. So instead of just having this mantra of hitting it as far or as close to the green as possible, we also can reframe this to where do I want to hit my next shot from? That's basically all. Where's a stress-free shot and how do I get the ball from the position I'm in to a stress-free shot? So reframe your approach shots or your layup shots to where do I want this ball? How do I set up a stress-free shot? Well, we got real lucky there and we're in play. A reframe we can use on approach shots is where can I get the ball to have a 50-50 chance of an up and down. That way we can adapt where we aim for our shot shape and where we leave the ball to be able to have a lot of green to use when we chip instead of short-siding ourselves on the side of the green that's difficult to get up and down. So where can I get this to have a 50-50 chance of up and down? Anything left and a little bit short, absolutely perfect. So I'm going to anticipate a draw. I'm going to take a little bit more club here and I'm going to set this up just to the left of the pin. Something that you don't hear much about is playing golf courses in a bit shitty condition. Here we have a lot of elephant grass that has overgrown into the fairways, which are supposed to be zoysia or Bermuda. And reframing it to just enjoy the challenge has really helped me to not get annoyed by terrible conditions on the golf course. Now, this green is under repair. I got to chip it over these ropes. Hey, another little challenge. So I'm going to take the 52 degree, and because I don't like the lie, because it's elephant grass, I'm going to reframe it and do toe down chipping again. So I get to adapt to these shitty conditions and just play with the obstacles. Easy game. Inside the left, are we lined up? Okay, trust it. Oh, not bad. This video is in paid partnership with BetterHelp. We're on a mission to make therapy easier. We're focusing heavily on reframes to get better results on the golf course. But off the golf course, we may not be getting the results we want mentally. BetterHelp provides a safe space to talk about what's on your mind. Stress, work issues, relationship issues, all without fear of judgment. I've personally seen BetterHelp get someone very close to me back on track after a big life change that altered their mental state. They went from weeks of sleepless nights and constant anxiety to understanding the root cause of the stress in their life. They did change therapists one time, and the very next therapist was a great fit to find effective ways to deal with the root cause and reframe their perspective. That's why I like to think of therapy as a tool for personal growth, so you can better understand yourself, create healthier habits, and learn more effective ways to solve problems. Use BetterHelp to improve your mental well-being off the course, and it may in fact transfer to the course. Starting therapy is easy with BetterHelp. Fill out a questionnaire and you'll be matched with a therapist in as little as a couple of days. Therapy is a lot like seeing a swing coach. You may not find the right one on the first try, and with BetterHelp, the best part is that it's easy to find a new therapist until you settle on the one you click with. If you're struggling and think you could benefit from a therapy session, go to the link in the description or betterhelp.com/golfsidekick and get 10% off your first month of therapy. You're not always going to hit a par 3 green. Sometimes when they get a bit longer, now you start to worry, you start to get anxious, and you hit shitty shots into bad positions. The best thing we can do on a par 3 to reframe it is to see it as a par 3.5. So where can I get this ball to get up and down 50% of the time? If you leave it short in the fairway, left side of the green, you're going to chip all the way up the green. Give yourself that 50-50 chance. You always want to put yourself in a position where you can have 50-50 chance getting up and down, and avoid the places where you're going 0 to 20% up and down. But if you've played golf more than once, you know it's going to go wrong. So even when we go wrong, we can reframe this instead of getting frustrated, because I used to be so frustrated when things didn't go perfect. Look how much I've missed this by. I hit the wrong shot shape. I'm in the place I didn't want to be in, and now I'm angry. I take a shitty shot, I teeth it over the green into another bunker, and I feel like a dope after taking a 5 or 6 on a simple par 3. The reframe here, when you're in a shitty situation, let's see it as an opportunity to show off our short game skills. That's as simple as that. Get it on the green and show off how good we are escaping trouble. That's going to be absolutely money. I used to get very, very upset with bogeys or leaving myself these kind of like 9, 10, 12 footers for par all the time. But the day you realize that if your handicap is not single figures, you're making more than half of the holes are bogeys. So if your handicap is 9, you're making 9 bogeys basically. If you're 10 plus, you're making more bogeys than pars. So bogeys are actually really good scores. Pars are phenomenal and birdies are outliers. So when you make the bogey, be happy. Oh man, we're just glancing the hole. I've started with 3 bogeys in a row. A bogey is always good without another word in front of it. But for me, it's an anomaly to go 3 bogeys in a row in the first 3 holes. So I can either, like I used to, buy into the idea of, oh my gosh, if I make another 15 bogeys, I'm not even going to break 90. Or I can reframe it. It can only get better. It's as simple as that. That's how I look at it. It can only get better from here. I'm going to take my safe, reliable club, my 2-iron Tacoma 101U, get myself in position for a second shot. Clear second shot, not out of position. Beautiful. Powerful reframe I've used for many, many years is to give every shot the respect it deserves. It's too easy to come here after 3 bogeys and just start hacking the ball all over the place with 15 holes left, trying to get off the golf course, looking like a stroppy little diva. doesn't work out for me. So give every shot the respect it deserves. That way follows on to another great reframe. The next shot could be the best shot of your life, but only if you give every shot the respect it deserves. Then, following on from the next shot could be the best of your life. One good shot can save a hole. Be captain, save a hole, not captain, save a hoe. I want to get this ball from where it is to where I want it to be. I don't want to think about the par. I don't want to think about the birdie. I don't want to think about avoiding a bogey. Let's just focus on this. Give this shot the respect it deserves. Get it to a place I want it to be. Let's see if we can hold a putt ski. 125, 48 degree. When it's going bad, we get so frustrated. We get visibly angry. We shake, we get tense. Stop. Let's reframe. Am I entitled to this level of frustration? Probably not. If you were practicing all week, you wouldn't be that frustrated because you wouldn't be hitting those shots. And you would learn that you could get up and down, you can save your score pretty easily. But if you're playing once a month, twice a month, 4 times a month, no practice, there's no frustration because there's no practice. From here I got 195 yards, which to me is very long. What I can also do is predetermine what can possibly happen on the shot. When I can actually look into the future of the possibilities, I can already prepare myself for them. From this lie, I'm more than likely not going to pull it left. It's 195 yards. I'm hitting the 6-iron specifically so that if I catch it, it's going to go the maximum distance to the pin, and if I don't catch it, which is quite likely, I'll be short there for a nice little chip. If I go with a 4-iron, I can go over the back, tough chip. I can bring the bunker into play on the left because now it goes long enough. So from a place like this where I'm a bit 50-50 on what's going to happen because of the very firm ground, best to give myself the best possible option with all the options that are actually available. If we can see what are the possibilities and pre-prepare for them, we don't get as frustrated. Wow, easy game. Get it on the green, mother. Green light, Pat. Red light, green light. I was once a young golfer, and after years of practice, lessons, and training, I'm no longer young. And you don't need to have a pornographic memory to remember all these things. The main thing is we want to be conscious. We want to open our mind, and we want to be non-reactive. We want to interpret what's going on, and we want to just be more in control of our emotions and our game. The reframes really help that stuff. You know, I'm a big supporter of LGBT. Let's get better together. On this one over here, I'm going to take a pitching wedge. I'm enjoying the challenge of avoiding the ropes. Okay, they've had to rope pieces off here because they changed their groundkeeping crew to make a better groundkeeping crew. The previous guy was not so great, and they've had to heal the course. So I want to just see this rather as some fun to use rather than complain about. So I'm going to stick a pitching wedge over this thing, toe down chip, because now I'm on the cow grass. I don't like it, but I can overcome it by using techniques like toe down chipping to eliminate all my apprehensions. In. And then my caddy's no good. Ladies and gentlemen, or if we use Peter Finch pronunciation, ladies and gentlemen, we have to assess our tee shot. Often we want a bash driver. Often we want to take on a shot we really shouldn't, over trees, through a little gap in the trees, and we have to think, what's the best case scenario out of this? Even the best case scenario is not even going to help you. So if I hit a driver here, the best case scenario is that I'm now 80 yards away from the hole, 70 yards away from the hole, with a firm ground chip, half shot to a green surrounded by water. That is not ideal for me, and I have a good chance of going under that tree. So a driver here is not even good in the best case scenario. So I like to keep this one a bit shorter. I take the 4-iron out, and understanding the best case scenario reframe can actually pull you away from stupid shots and hit better shots. One of my favorite reframes is titties to the target. Sometimes we get too armsy and we don't do anything. We just play this game of chipping around here and it gets very inconsistent. I notice I like to chunk the ball a lot doing that. So I have to remember titties to the target to finish facing the target. Helps me to keep that rotation instead of getting armsy and chunking my chips and teething them across the green. So let's go titties to the target. And alive, hey? Not bad, but not good. Whatever's happening on the golf course, remember, as Peter Finch would tell us, it's a freaking hobby. Let it go. No one's pregnant. You're not going to jail. You're not terminally ill. And if you are terminally ill, enjoy the round because you ain't got many more left. If you put yourself in positions from the tee that make your decisions much easier on your second and third shots, especially on par fives, you can bring the score down. It's when you get in that in-between zone and you have this funky idea that you can hit these par fives in two if you really can't, that's when you start taking sevens and eights on par fives unnecessarily. It's not that difficult on par fives if we just play the shots we know until we get to the green. That can give you like fives and sixes every single time. So I'm going to ground and pound the driver. I'm not really that keen on it today, but let's see what happens. Yeah, well, that's exactly what I'm talking about. So that's what happens with the driver if you're not feeling it. You put yourself under pressure to get this low lofted club into play because you want to go for it in two, and you actually put yourself in position that means you're not going to get there in three, maybe you'll get there in four shots. So another way we can look at the tee shot, especially on par five, is get the ball in play, especially if you're not feeling it. From there, get the ball to a position you want to approach the green from. And while it sounds counterintuitive, like as if you're not playing attacking, the big reframe here is that a ball in play is worth two in the bush. So we get this ball in play, and from there, especially if it's a low stress club, maybe you have a 7-wood, maybe you have a hybrid, it gets you in play. From there, you have a great shot at getting it up and around the green for 50-50 chance of up and down. What you may find is if you don't reframe the hole as a get in play and then get the ball to the distances that you like, you end up putting yourself in these high stress positions, which then create higher stress positions. So now we are in the rough here between two big tufts here on some sandy ground, hitting into over a valley onto the fairway. Now, there's too many decisions and too many variables to take into account here. A ball below my feet, how am I going to get this ball out? Stance is awkward, and I can't really control where the ball's going to go, or even if it will get out. If it's more lush here instead of dry, it could stay in the rough. By playing the shot that's going to get in play in position, it's going to give us a much better chance at scoring better. So if I were here, I would take a 8-iron maximum loft and just try punch it out. But that's me, Always remember in the moment what's for you. Can you hit these shots? If you hit these shots, are you going to get out? Then you hit another stressful shot to another stressful position. Wow, stress-free shots. Thank you, Peter Finch. I've made my decision very easy here, and we've got ourselves to a place we want to get the ball to. I'm going to hit a little niner down there to get it to 150, around 150, and play to the hole. Bunker shots are really difficult, and if we don't have the right frame and we go in with a mindset of trying to chip the ball out or worried about not getting out, we're just not going to get out, and we're going to keep chipping it in the bunker. So my reframe was slap the sole of the club into the sand. That's it. Once I realized we don't make contact with the ball, we actually just slap the sand with the sole of the club an inch behind the ball, and you follow through. That's when you know it comes out every single time. It's not even a worry once you get this right. We call it soul slapping. So I like to be a bit of a soul slapper, little soul slapper. And it gets out every single time when we just slap that little sole. Boom! Wow, it didn't move at all. The in-play shot from the tee, that's a phrase coined by Peter Finch. I just want to give a big shout out to Peter Finch for really an inspiration behind the way of the player golf sidekick. Without Peter Finch, I don't think I would have started a YouTube channel, let's be honest. We've got 190 yards remaining, and I'm actually going to hit an 8-iron short there to leave a pitch on. If I hit my normal like 6 or 7 iron to be able to get it from the fly lie onto the green, it's going to hurt this elbow of mine even further. This will be the final hole, just because of the pain in my elbow. So it's going to turn over right to left. Let's go get this in that little gap short of the green. I played a round a couple of days ago, my first round after 12 weeks of not touching a golf club, and I hit the ball so well and I played so nicely and I felt so good, and I said I want to bottle that feeling. And I can feel within 2 more rounds after that, that feeling's going, because now, you know, maybe you're tired, maybe I've played too much in the last 3 days after not playing for 12 weeks. The main thing I pick up from someone like Paige Spiranak is the reframe of, if it's not working, do something else. How does that fit into the video? I don't know. I just wanted to mention it as a Paige appreciator. A Tacoma Sapien, a Tacoma Erectus, your friend in the fairway, the high handicap whisperer, the stimp daddy, the #1 Lithuanian golf YouTuber, the #1 Afro-European golf YouTuber, the #1 mainland European golf YouTuber. That's me, with a 48-degree.